Okay, there we go. Sorry for the somewhat lengthy introduction. I hope everybody's doing well. So let me do this. And let me go here. Excellent. Okay. One more thing I had to turn down. Hi, Kay. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. I thought I'd get back and do this. I thought I'd go back and look at some of the other Grenadier lead figures that I have right now. There are other sets. These are going to be sets 2006 to 2013 from the series. These are the real old school Dungeons and Dragons lead figures, not the pewter or the plastic ones you can buy today. These are actually made of lead. And if you haven't seen the earlier story, the earlier video that I put out, I'll give you a bit of a backstory. In the late 1970s, early 80s, I collected Dungeons and Dragons lead figures. I was never really into the game itself, but I did collect the lead figures that were part of the game system. So the idea is these figures would allow you to represent on a table or on a map where your characters would be in relation to your surroundings. So if you were battling an ogre or a dragon, you could see where your figure was in relation to the creature. And the company that made these figures, Grenadier, produced small sets of lead figures and larger boxes. I have both the small sets and the large sets. But today we'll take a look at some of the other small sets that I didn't get to in my last video, because some of you said you wanted to see them. In the last video, I looked at sets 2001 through 2005. Those were Grenadier's catalog numbers for the sets. They're not the years that they were made. And these are all sets from the 1980 or so, or late 70s, early 80s. But today I'll go back and look at sets 2006 through 2013. I'll try to go through these fairly quickly. These are all sets that I got at the local, well, I pretty much got them at the local hobby store where I grew up as a kid. I know a couple of the sets, though, I got at a yard sale about 25 years ago because those sets were painted by somebody who did a really good job with them. I was not an artist by any means. I didn't paint the figures that I got. But these were all stored in my cellar. I haven't really looked at them in 40 years, so I hope that you'll find them interesting. I'll show you the artwork from the boxes as well in one camera, in this camera, and then I'll show you the figures in this camera so you can see them up close. So let me get back to where we left off. This is, there we go. So this is set number 2006. It's called The Specialists. Let's see what's in here. So this is the paperwork that would come with the sets, and those are the figures themselves. So I'll leave that there. Hi, Lincoln. How are you? I'm doing an impromptu stream. I'm trying to finish up anyway, this set of, these sets of figures that I have. Let's see. Okay. Well, the first figure, let me back that up a little bit. So yeah, yes, these are lead figures. They're made of lead. I'll wash my hands after. This figure was called a Ranger. And like I said in the last video, I'm surprised that things like the sword have not fallen off, because the lead is not the hardest metal out there. So that's the front and back of that character. So that's the first character from that set. There were 10 characters in this box. This is called a monk. I don't know why a monk would be carrying something like that, but looks kind of like a martial arts. Yeah, it is Kay, isn't it? And it was in existence long before that too. So there's that figure, the monk. This one, oops, sorry, hit the box. This character looks kind of Middle Eastern, doesn't he, or Turkish? This is a druid. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit so you can see a bit more of the detail. I'm amazed at some of the details on these characters. That's the back. So that's a druid, not what I would think a druid would look like. What's the back? This is a gnome illusionist. And let's see this next one. So what I'm looking at, I'm referencing this sheet of paper that came with the original set. So they have pictures of all of them, and they're organized A, B, C, D, E as they are in the box. So I can just, if they're in the right order, I can pull them out and tell you exactly what they are, because I couldn't tell you what they are after all these years. All right, this is kind of a scary looking guy. This is a wizard. And this is definitely a set that I bought because, like I said, I did not paint these. Just the look in his face. Okay. This is F. F is a bard with a lute. I guess that makes sense. Let me see if I can bring this up a little bit. And focus, get you a little bit more perspective on this. There we go. So yes, this is the bard with a lute. I seem to remember from the game that these characters could charm other characters by their music, kind of put them into a spell of sorts. I don't quote me on that. I may be wrong. G. This is a cleric communing. Okay. That's kind of neat. He's holding a cross. Has a mace. This game has been around. I think this game was originally introduced, Lincoln, in the early 70s, and then it went through different versions. And all these figures are from late 70s, early 80s. In fact, sometimes if you look at the bottom of this, that's not a good example. Sometimes they'll have the date that these were made. Oh, see, this one does. Okay, this is a good example. I don't know if you can see in the bottom it says copyright 1981. So this is from 1981. So this character, H, is an assassin. So again, in the game, you could play the role of these characters, and they all had different abilities. They all had their strengths. They all had their weaknesses. This guy, look at this one. This is I. This is a paladin. Almost like a crusader. That's a pretty fierce-looking character. Oh, thanks, Case. 1974, yeah. And here we are, almost 50 years later, and it's still around. And this character is a half-orc fighter. I don't know why somebody in the game would want to be a half-orc. Maybe this was not a character that you would play. Maybe it's a character that you would encounter in a dungeon or in a castle or a tomb or something like that. Half-orc, huh? Yeah. Kind of has sort of a monstrous type of face to it. And again, I don't know my point here, but you can kind of tell, right? In that arm, you can see a little bit of the lead where it wasn't really cleaned out, because these are just poured in molds. So the molds would be like that, and they'd pour the lead in them, and they'd separate the molds, and they would clean these up as best they can. But okay, so that is the last character, the last figure in this set, called the Specialists. let's take a look at the next one. So that was 2006. 2007. Oh, gee. I really didn't look at these. I just put them in number order. All right, I hope this isn't going to offend anybody. This is called Females. And some of them are kind of scantily clad. Wow. Okay. Because there were female characters in this game. I think girls played this game as much as the boys did. So, 10? Yep, 10. All right, let's see what's in there. And when I moved, I remembered I had some of this from a computer. I had some of this thin foam. I put that in there. So when we moved, they wouldn't jostle around so much. Oh my gosh. Let's see what we have. So, here's the first figure from that set. Oops, no, you want it there. And that will go there. There we are. So this is called a Druid with a Puma. Again, I don't know what that means. Well, a Puma, obviously, a big cat. I don't know why they'd have a big cat, what the value of that would be. And let's see, this character. All right, this seems more like the kind of character you'd want to be if you played the game, if you wanted to play a female character. This is called another paladin. Okay, so kind of a crusader. And again, I am just absolutely amazed that this sword is still attached after, 40 years or so. Hey, hi AWR. Paul, I have the day off. I have a snow day today. So I'm going through some old Grenadier Dungeons and Dragons, well, advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know what the difference was between advanced Dungeons and Dragons and regular Dungeons and Dragons. Like I said, I didn't really play the game. I just collected the figures. That's kind of a neat looking character. All right, this next one, C, is called a Ranger. She has a bow. Hey, Jeeping John, great to see you, buddy. Yeah, John, these are old. I had these from when I was a kid. What's this next one? Okay, now, all right, now look at this set. How there is paint in there. So this must be one of the sets that I bought at a yard sale. Like I said, somebody was getting rid of a bunch of these. And so they must have, I guess, painted it and decided they didn't like it painted. This character, this is D. This is a bard again. All right, so she's playing a lute. Which is funny. The other one said bard with a lute, but that bard is playing a harp, so I don't know. Yeah, it definitely does, Kay. That's why I kind of chuckled. These are... I don't think any of the characters on the box would fare very well in any kind of battle. This skinny one, what is this? This is an Amazon, all right. Again, I apologize if this is not apropos to 2020 culture. I didn't name these. But I think it's pretty good. The spear is still there. Hey, Jason, how are you? When I did my last video, somebody commented, or did they email me? They either commented or emailed me and said, those sets are worth kind of a bit of money. I don't know. Like I said, they've been sitting in my cellar for decades. This character, and I said I was going to go through these quickly. I don't want to spend too much time. This is an enchantress. All right, so it's like a wizard, sorcerer type of thing. These are lead, yep. So I will wash my hands after. In fact, it says, well, if you look here, not intended for use by children under 10 years of age. I was just about 10 when I bought these. It does say on the box that they're made of lead with, the warning. So, Okay, where did I leave off? That was a F. That was the Enchantress. This is just called a fighter. And she has a horse on her head. Okay. I think it's a horse. Looks like Jar Jar Binks. No, actually it's winged. I guess it's a dragon. But again, I mean the detail, like on the scabbard and the little pouch and the belt, and I'm impressed. So that is a fighter. Here is figure H. And this figure is a cleric. So she has, what is that? Like a warhammer, I guess. And that's an impressive looking shield too. So I'm leaning forward because I'm trying to look at the detail. This character is a little one. This is a dwarven fighter, a female dwarven fighter. Again with a warhammer. And a shield. You can kind of see the wood graining in the shield. It's kind of impressive. It's impressive to me. All right, and the last one from that set. This is J. This is a thief. Yeah, she's kind of scantily clad. She's wearing a bathing suit, basically. And I don't know what she's holding in her hands. I guess that's a bag for her ill-gotten gains, and that's a sword. Okay. All right, so that is the last figure from that set, which is the female set. Okay. Let's see what's next. So that was 2007. 2008 is that set. And it's called Thieves. And I really like the artwork on these sets, on these boxes. Hey, BC Treasure Trails. All right, BC, so you know more about the game than I do. Although +2, that's actually in good condition, that piece of paper. All right, what do we have here? So this, I don't think these are in order. I don't think they are. All right, so let's do this. You can take a look at that. Okay, the first character in the set is this one. And that's called a Halfling Thief. Holding a dagger of some sort. All right. The next character is 2, Thief with Grappling Hook. And there's the grappling hook. Are they collectible? I mean, they were collectible back in the day, Paul, because I bought them. I don't know how much these sets cost back in 1980, 1981. Are they collectible today? I guess if somebody is interested in them, and these probably would be, because the box is in pretty good shape. These figures are in pretty good shape. They're not broken. This is, oh, see, this is out of order. Okay, let me go back and see which one is next. This one is next. All right, this is, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to tell you what these are. This is a thief with a sword. Yeah, see, it looks like that was painted too. Thief with a sword. Then we have a female thief. Oh, okay. See, here's a good example. This, I don't know if you can tell, but the leg right there, I think is broken. Yeah, it's broken right there. You can see it kind of came apart. So these are fragile. And I don't know how you'd repair it, probably with just epoxy or something. Yeah, I don't even want to... I will touch this very nimbly. This looks like a musketeer. Okay, that's a female thief. The next is Thief with a Sack. Interesting. And what is next? Dwarf Thief. With a sword and a dagger. All right, the next one is... This is called Thief Climbing, or I was thinking Thief Falling. I don't think it stands up on its own. That seems kind of like a silly figure to have. What else do we have? This is the next one in the set. This is called Thief with a Torch. Okay, see, yeah, definitely was. This one was painted as well. So this must be one of the sets that I bought at a yard sale or at a flea market type of thing. Yeah. So a torch in one hand and a bottle of something in the other. The next one is Thief and Chest. Okay, so this would have counted as two separate figures. So you have the thief, and then you have the treasure chest. So I guess when you're I guess if you're playing the game, you could have a, well, this treasure chest is open, but you could have traps and things like that, so your characters could kind of represent how far they are from. In any event, that is the thief. That's the character. And he's holding, it looks like a little crowbar or something. And that is the treasure chest. That's kind of neat looking. Okay, so that means there's one more in here. Yep, this one. This is called Thief Assassin. With the turban. And I think he's holding a dart. So I guess like a poison dart or something like that. Okay. All right. So that was the Thieves set 2008. So I keep hitting the box. I apologize. Okay. Moving along. Set 2009. Oh yeah, I do remember this one. This was a different kind of set because the other sets had individual characters that you could use in the game. This was more of a model set. It's called Wizard's Room. I probably did, Kay. Probably did. So it comes with a whole, well, here. Oh, I keep doing. So that's what's in the set. So it doesn't really have so much characters. It has just furniture and... Well, let's see. I'll show you each little bit. The Wizard's Room. So I guess if you were a wizard and you... So there's a wizard sitting in a chair. Holding a crystal ball. Okay, so I guess that would be him. Then B is a shelf. That's kind of neat. So yeah, I guess you'd put this together and you'd have a model. I'm impressed with the detail on these. I know casting lead probably isn't terribly difficult, but once you have the model made. Did that a set of 20 figurines with no box from 1983 is going for $50. Okay. Yeah, these are the smaller sets with 10 figures in them, and I have the bigger ones with 20 figures that I'll do in another video. But I guess I'm not surprised. It's nostalgia for a lot of people. BC, I used to be a treasure in business for tour game. Gotta run. All right. Hey, I'll see you later, AWI. I don't know how much longer I'll be on, but maybe I'll be on when you get home. All right. So let's see. C. What on earth is that? C. Work desk with components. Oh, that's this. All right. D. Reptilian familiar. I guess it's like a pet. Hey, I guess if you're a wizard, I guess you could have whatever kind of pet you want. Looks like a little dragon reptile type of thing. All right. E is a brazier. Okay. F. Treasure urns. Those are those. Kind of like bongos. I guess that's where you keep your treasure. On the box, good dragon sleeping. Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, most of the things in this set are portrayed in the box. G. Thaumaturgic circle. Oh, it's this. Oh, that's kind of creepy looking. Well, just the skull. And the reason why you had this is because you had this piece. A cauldron with a conjured face. So I guess the idea is you'd put the cauldron in there, in your wizard's room. You'd set it up like that. But that's the circle. And that's the cauldron. With the face. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Anybody wants these? Give me a price. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Okay, well that was 2009, 2010. No, I'm not doing this to sell any of these. That was a joke. This is called, oops, I should share the box first. This is one I know I got at a yard sale or a flea market type of thing. This is called Denizens of the Swamp. So these were, the other sets had human or elf, dwarf, whatever types of figures that you could be in the game. This is a set of the enemies that you would fight in the game. The baddies. And these were painted. Definitely not something that I would have done. Nowhere near talented enough to do these. 'Cause these are real. Actually, these really look pretty good. The first one. Yeah, look at the detail on that. Holy cow! Somebody took their time. This is a lizard man with a sword. I am pretty... Look at even the detail on the face. I'm impressed with that. Holy smoke. So, yeah, these were not painted at the factory. The factory just sent them to you as lead figures, and you could take the time to paint them. Wow. I'm not surprised, Jason. If you're not going to wear pants, you might as well wear a loincloth. This is called a shambling mound. Okay. Looks kind of like a creature from the Black Lagoon sort of thing. Looks like a Muppet. Next character is a gnoll with a mace. Oh, again, the detail on these is pretty impressive. Let's see, D. I'm probably not pronouncing this properly. Sahuagin. I think. Another lizard type of character. The next in the set is E. This is a lizard man with a club. So that'd be the same creature as that. So in the game, I guess you wanted to avoid lizard men. Okay. What is next? G is a giant snake. Yeah, it's a giant snake. Again, I apologize. I'm moving that over. Let me move things over so I'm not hitting that so often. Okay, giant snake. H is a gnoll with a sword. Oh, no, I skipped one. F is a troll. That is a troll. Looks kind of creepy. Okay, so after the snake is H. That is a gnoll with sword, which is this one. Kind of looks like a werewolf, doesn't it? Thanks, guy. You have a terrific day. And I is a basilisk. Okay. Polly Nichols was playing a game where he had to battle a basilisk. And I don't remember exactly what it was about this creature. Poison? I don't know. All right. Well, that is set 2010, Denizens of the Swamp. Okay, I can tell this is one I bought. Look at that, $1. Jason, I don't know if those... if the figures that you said in chat are what they're asking or what they're selling for, but I think I got this for $1 somewhere along the line. This is set 2011. It's the Orcs Lair. Again, those would be characters that you would battle in the game. So we'll do that. Oh, and there's the, if you're interested, there's the paperwork that came with it. All right, let's see what came in the Orcs Lair. Oh, okay, this is a Now, you don't want pieces broken, but this is an example of a piece that came in two separate pieces. There's no way they could cast all this together and have it come out of the mold properly, so they casted the two pieces separately. But the idea is that you would glue this piece to this orc. And the orc has kind of a curved hand, so it fits fairly well. And this character is called a standard. It just says standard. I guess that'd be like a standard bearer. So they're asking that price? Yeah, I'd be curious to see what they actually go for. And I'm going to guess back in the day, back in like 1980, my gosh, maybe the sets were $10, $8, I don't know. And this is an Axeman. And where did I get that one wrong? Because I have this one too. Well, this one came with the set. And this one looks a bit more like that one. So maybe this one. Well, it says 19. Oh, you can't really tell. So it says 1981. If I can focus on there. It says it's copyright 1981 Grenadier. But I don't see this one in the set. Okay. So I guess there are two Axemen. Maybe they get a bonus. Oh, they're definitely... Oh, all right, let me show you. There are definitely doubles in here. I didn't notice it. So maybe these are from two different sets. Boy, if I got that for $1, that was pretty good. You get all these figures. All right, well, let's go through what's in here regardless. This one is short sword. Orc with a short sword. And the next one is archer. There's an example of the sprue. So when they poured it, they take it out of the mold and trim away as much as they could, but they didn't trim this part. So when you bought the set, you'd be responsible for cutting that off. Probably because they wouldn't want to be responsible for bending the bow too much, snapping anything off. So there's an archer. In fact, there's another one in here that has the sprue that was cut off, so you can kind of get a sense of that. Okay, this is a swordsman. Jason says that set has 8 bids for $37. Okay. So I guess they are still collectible. I mean, I don't know. Well, if you buy a set today, they're not going to be lead. They're going to be plastic or pewter. I don't know what they'd go for today, the modern versions of these sets. And of course, they wouldn't be the same figures. They'd be whatever the figures are now in the game. I don't know if they have the same types of characters. They probably do. This is F, A, B, C, D, E. This is called a leader. Guess this orc was in command. Yeah, there too you can see a little bit of lead right there next to the X. You would be responsible for trimming that, and you see a little bit of lead under his arm. Then we have orc with a war club. Pretty neat. Then we have a shaman. Okay. Kind of like a witch doctor. And the last one we have is a captain. Kind of a puny axe, buddy. I get pretty amazing detail. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but okay. So that was set 2011, the Orcs Lair. 2012. Oh, this is a bizarre one. This almost looks like outer space. 2012 Dwellers Below. Ooh, this box is kind of falling apart. Well, no, it's not. Okay. 2012, The Dwellers Below. So the first set is Rust Monster. It says denotes assembly, so there are two pieces that came with it. Why it's called a Rust Monster, I do not know. I guess I should look it up. But the idea is you'd glue the tail to this somehow. Looks like it, yeah, looks like it fits like that. So when you glued it together, it would look like that. But it came in two separate pieces because they couldn't cast it all in one piece, I imagine. So that was a Rust Monster. B, an Intellect Devourer. Looks like a brain with legs. Does it have a face? Nope. Okay. C, Doppelganger. Oh, that's kind of neat looking. Looks kind of like a zombie. D, a Cave Fisher. These are bizarre. Hey, scrapping, hoarding, tinkering fun. That's a bizarre looking one. That is E. An Otyug? Otyug? Oh, it's spelled O-T-Y-U-G-H. Otyug. Otyug. Kind of reminds me of a Little Shop of Horrors. F. An Aspis. Aspis? That's what it says. It's kind of like a fly. Well, a fly that with a sword and a shield. Two shields. This is a bizarre set. That one. That's called a Yuan Tai. And look at somebody even. Okay, see, that's probably the extent of the paint that I could probably put on a creature. I may have been guilty of doing that one because these aren't painted. Next one is H, a beholder. Looks like a giant eyeball with sharp teeth, with a whole bunch of little eyeballs on stalks. Oh boy. And last but not least is this creature called a roper. I know I have, in another video, I'll go through the larger sets. And the larger sets, I think, have more of the characters that I would think of that you'd fight in the Dungeons and Dragons game, like ogres and dragons and skeletons and things like that. These were really bizarre. I have a feeling the set was probably not that popular. Oh, there's a little bit of a sprue there, too. I can't see myself going out and buying this, but maybe somebody got it for me. All right, so that was set 2012, The Dwellers Below. Yeah, it is interesting. Again, the artwork is, I don't know, it looks almost like a 1950s comic book or 1960s comic book, but... All right, last set. Right? 2013. So again, in the last video, I went through sets 201 to 205. They began with set 2000. 2001, excuse me. I don't think they had a set 2000. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this was 6 through 13. This was the last set that they made. So I had all these small sets, all the small sets that they produced. Well, actually, they made large sets as well. I know I have all the large sets. And they made some Lord of the Rings sets that I got. I got those later on, though. This company, Grenadier, made a lot of lead figures for this game. They didn't... I don't know what connection they had with the game. They probably just licensed the name. Or maybe they... I don't know. Maybe they own the game. I don't think they did, though. I don't think Grenadier did. I think Grenadier just made figures for the game. So anyway, this is the last set in the small set series. It's 2013 Adventuring Party. So there's the paperwork. Those are the figures. Oh, this is in really good condition too. I did take care of my toys. All right. 2013 Adventuring Party. Let's see what's in here. Oh, okay. This has characters, and they're actually named. So this character is called Faf, an armored dwarf with war axe. That's a pretty mean-looking character. B, this is Rare, half-elf fighter. Let me make sure I have this right. Half-elf fighter magic user. So I guess in the game you could be a fighter and a magic user. Citadel made great. Yeah, I've heard of Citadel. I might even have some Citadel figures. I have, in addition to these kinds of boxes, I just have a box with figures all in there. I suppose I should store them better. They're all in, like I said, one big cardboard box. Citadel, Elan Merchandising did some. Warhammer did some. There's another company that escapes me. This is Norian, a female magic user. Oops. She's Kind of looking up at whatever she's holding in her hand. Probably some sort of charm. Interesting. This is called a slinging druid. Oh, his name is Snow. The swinging druid. The swinging. The slinging druid. Maybe he was a swinging druid too. I don't know. This is called Charn, warrior and plate mail. All right. How on? No. Okay. Oh, see this. If you can tell, the sword is bent. In fact, it looks like it might be... Oh, no, I guess those are like runes in the sword. Oh, no, it's cracked right there. That would have been a really difficult piece to cast, I would imagine. So I'll have to be careful with that. We don't want the sword to break off. Here's another character I'm surprised that its weapon isn't broken off. This is called More Here, a monk with a spear. Oh, again, here's another one. I'm surprised this isn't broken off. Gee, this is Cario, cleric in plate with flail. That piece in the middle you'd want to trim off once you got it. I wouldn't want to be hit with that. This is called Dent, bard with bagpipes. Actually, it looks like that was painted. Or is it just the reflection? Or maybe something in the lead. Kind of hard to tell. I'm going to guess no. None of these are painted. I think your dagger's droopy, whoever this is. Melisson, a halfling fighter thief. Alright, so this character either has a curved dagger, which I'm going to guess is the case, or it got bent. Oh, maybe it did. Maybe it got... I don't know. And last we have this character called Chaw, female ranger in splint mail. Oh, and there's a little sprue there at the bottom that was not trimmed off. Huh. So, that is it. And that is the last character in set 2013, The Adventuring Party. Like I said, I have the larger sets, which were basically... Well, these had 10 characters, creatures, objects in them. The larger sets had 20, so they were twice the size. And I have some of those that I will do in another video, if there's any interest. If there is any interest, just put a comment below, and I will happily consider doing it, because this, I'll tell you, I don't remember this set at all. I remember some of the other sets that I have that we just went through, but some of the characters I don't know. But it was fun for me because I did collect these as a kid, as I mentioned, and it was nice just seeing them again after all these years. What I will do with them, I don't know. They'll probably go back in my cellar and be stored on a shelf, and somebody will get them someday. But Lincoln, I never got into... I didn't either. I remember one time playing it, and it was just a long game. It took hours and hours and hours to play, and I couldn't quite really... I guess I didn't have the attention span to play the game, so I ended up collecting these figures. I thought the figures are pretty cool, I think. And I guess if they are worth something, it was probably not a bad thing to hold on to. I just think of the things that I had when I was a kid that I just threw away or got rid of or gave away. And I wish I kind of had them now. I know I had a pretty impressive set of Star Wars figures that I gave to my neighbor. So kind of wish I had those back, because I know Star Wars figures are worth a lot of money. The original, like, 1970s Star Wars figures. But for whatever reason, these I kept. The coins I collected as a kid I kept, so that kind of carries through. But yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this little stroll down memory lane for me. And if you're interested, and anybody out there is interested in Grenadier and what came with the sets, there they are. Here are the actual sets. And if you'd like me to go through the large sets, I'm trying to think off the top of my head how many there were. I think there were 5 of the large boxed sets. Actually, I'll strike that. I think there were 4 of the large box sets. Then there were special large box sets that had paints and brushes, now that I think of it, with them. I'll just have to go through and see what I have, but I can go through those some other time. But anyway, I want to thank you all for spending the time here, and if in the live stream, and if you end up watching this as the replay, I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to everybody soon. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.